Hello, dear Inna and Daphne. Thank you for agreeing to this interview today. I want to ask some
First,
questions. I want to ask you, could you tell us a little about
First of
yourselves?
all, I would like to thank you for inviting us and for the good cooperation that we are working together for, I think, maybe almost 2 years from now or 1 year and a
I think
half.
even more.
Like that. Even more?
I think so.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
More.
yeah. It was
Yes.
so exciting for us to get your email back then while we were in lockdown in the pandemic. And it's so good to see how things are progressing. So thank you very much for everything that we are doing together. And I will just briefly say that my name is Daphne Koppelman Rubin, and I'm the head of the SEL IL Academic Research Center, which is based in the School of Psychology in Reichman University in Israel. And I'm an educational psychologist by training. And I'm really dedicated my academic and professional life in order to promote social emotional learning by research, by doing applied research. And I'm lucky enough to have a very competent and nice team of wonderful women, which Dr. Ina Katz-Gold is one of them. And we are trying to bring research to practice and to do things all around the country. And now it's the first time that we have the opportunity to work with you outside of Israel. So it's really, really nice for us.
Thanks, Daphne. What about Inna?
I'm also very excited to be here and to take part in this conversation in all our meetings before now. It's very exciting to see that people are interested in the program and are implementing it not only in Israel but in other places. So really, it's a very good opportunity for us too. About myself, I'm an educational psychologist also, and for years when working with schools and kindergartens, I always had the notion that prevention is very important, and it's very important to work with educators. It's also one of the things we do as educational psychologists, and it was really important to me, and I was doing things with especially kindergarten teachers even before the program was developed and before I met Daphne. And then some 8 years ago, there was an opportunity that connected us together. And it was really magic for me because I had this interest in one hand, and Daphne had all the academic knowledge and the know-how and the resources, and it made the development of the program of the ICS possible. And so that's how it began. And now it's implemented in so many kindergartens, and also working with you, which is very exciting. So I think
Thanks.
that's about it.
Yes, I am and my students very lucky to work with you about the social emotional program. Thanks you for me and students and our kindergarten. I hope. I want to ask the other question. What do you think social emotional learning in early childhood, and why is it important?
Okay. We know for many, many years, actually more than 3 decades of research, showing us that social emotional skills and competencies are really important in order to get a good development of children and to get them the resources that they need in order to cope with stress, with all kinds of problems. We know that kids that have these skills early on, they are better in their academic functioning, they are less involved with behavior problems, their well-being is much higher, they have less symptoms of depression and anxiety. And we also know how we can enhance these skills among the kids. Actually, I'm really impressed by, there are many studies and works that have been done, but one specifically that was published about 7 years ago followed for 19 years kids from kindergarten since they were 4 years old, until they were 25. And we see in this study that the way the kindergarten teachers rated the behavior of the kids in a matter of their pro-social skills was well connected how they behave and what their functioning was later on, which means that these kids that had higher skills when they were 4, they were more likely to graduate from high school, to complete a college degree, and to obtain stable employment. And they were less likely to have problems like depression and anxiety and living in public housing or being in jail. So we know from a longitudinal study, which is kind of rare for 19 years, that these skills are really resilience factors that if you can put the investment in early childhood, you gain all the way in the individual level as well as in the society level. And this is why we are so committed to this work.
Yes. Okay,
I think there
thanks,
even
Dara.
was a study showing that for every $1 you invest in social emotional learning, you gain, I think, $11
$11, yeah.
in the future for not having to take care of people that don't have the needed skills to be in the workforce and have normal life.
Okay, thank you. I want to ask the other, what can educators do to support social emotional learning in early childhood?
Okay. So also what we like about this knowledge and this research-based knowledge about social emotional learning, that it also investigates the way how can you enhance most effectively these skills among kids in the education system. It's not like a psychological treatment. It's what can you do in the kindergarten and the school. And actually we know that there are 3 main routes or ways how you can enhance these skills. The first and the most studied one is like the I Can Succeed program, which is a program that you are a universal prevention program that you are working with the whole kids, and you train them and give them the tools they need to develop the skills, and then to train it and over and over again until they have it as their own. And this is one very, very important way to enhance these skills. The other one is the modeling that the educational team is giving to the students. It's not enough to teach the students if the educators themselves don't show the same competencies that they want to teach the children. So it's really important to give this developmental, professional development and training to the teachers in order them to be good models for the kids. And also that you have to integrate it in the whole day and the whole system. It's not like one piece of the day, just 1 hour a day. It's not enough. You have to incorporate it in the whole day routine, and also to give it outside of the kindergarten into the families and after school. So it's kind of a culture, so it's something that you are doing on and on and on. Maybe Ina will want to add specific examples or something of it.
Yeah, I think really and I think we have it in the ICS program. Part of it is really educating the teachers themselves, because they have to have the knowledge about SEL and its importance, so that they can be aware, first of all, in themselves. And we have tools we use to help them do it. What SEL skills do I have as a teacher? And with every teacher I've worked, whenever we worked on skills that the children have, they always, even it's naturally coming to them, they're always saying something about themselves. Do I have self-control? What do I do when I need to make decision? What kind of feelings this and other things evoke in me, and how do I deal with them? Can I regulate my emotions well enough? So it's the knowledge first. We give them the knowledge, and then they can have a reflection about themselves and know which skills do they have and how they use them in their daily life. So that's really the first thing. And we always do this when we train for ICS, because it cannot be detached from the educator themselves. And then the other thing about being integrated in the daily life of the children, it's very, very important, because, and in kindergarten, it can be done easier than during school time, because at school, sometimes SEL taught in one specific lesson, which is nice, but it's not enough, because as Daphne said, you need to train, and the only way you can train in it is if you do it throughout the day, and even better if you can do it after school, after the kindergarten hours. So the exercises we give the children, like the sport activities and the naming of the emotions whenever they have conflict, it's all done during the day at school. It's not something that is taught in a separate hour. So that way they can really engage in social, emotional activities during the day. And the best gain is when the after school also are being trained after school teachers. It's something we have in Israel. I don't know how it works in Turkey, but when the children finish kindergarten at 2 o'clock, then they have after school program where most of them are staying because the parents are working. And there, if the caregivers are also being integrated in the program, and they are being trained, even when they are not a specialist as the kindergarten teachers, but still they are aware of the skills and they can continue promoting them. And of course, the connection to the parents is also very important when we give them letters and kindergarten teachers explain things to them. Sometimes they invite them to the kindergarten to experience things with the children. For example, in some kindergartens, parents, when they come in the morning with the children, they are doing the sports activities together, and or they putting post-its saying something about the children's feelings. With which feelings did they come this morning? I came with a happy feeling. So the child and the parent are putting it on post-it or drawing it or writing it and stick it to the board. So that way that the parents are also being part of this culture, as Daphne said, part of this language that the child speaks throughout his whole life, you can say, and then it really builds the skills the best way.
Okay.
And another thing, if I may add, that is really important to us, and we've been dedicated our last 3 years of research to do, is to make the know-how about what should we expect from children according to their age, to their developmental phase, and to the culture, because these skills looks different when you are 3 years old, 4, 5, 6, 18. And it's really important to know and to let educators know what to expect, as well as parents. And one thing is the age dimension, but also the culture, because different cultures put different focus or values in the center of the work. So the progress of these skills is different according to age and according to culture. And it's really important to know what to expect, what children should know and be able to do. So if you know exactly what to expect in your population, in your school, in your class, you can have specific intervention and training that are relevant to the population of your class in this time. And for this, you need tools, assessment tools, and hopefully technology-based tools. So you can really make personalization program for each class and for each group of students. And this is what we've been doing for the last 3 years. We took the I Can Succeed program and we developed the knowledge about the phases of the development of these skills and put it in a platform, a digital platform, so the kindergarten teacher can map the skills of her specific kindergarten and put extra training on the skills that are needed and it can be a little different in her in a specific in her kindergarten compared to the next one. So this is the new development of the program that we've been doing for the last 3 years now.
Okay, thanks. You say that supporting children social emotional learning at the school and general environment. Ina says with parents and teacher relation. Do you have any another suggestion to parents?
I think parents is much like teachers, they first have to have the knowledge about social emotional learning. It's a bit more difficult oftentimes because they're not professionals. They're not, most of them, professionals in education, early education and development and psychology. So, and it's important that every parent can relate to these concepts and can understand them. So it's important also the cultural aspect here is very important to see where the kindergarten is. For example, just a month ago, I visited kindergartens that are based in Tel Aviv, in an area where foreign workers, immigrants are living from Africa mainly. And these are parents that some of them can't read or write, and they work very long hours a day. And in this, it's like a school of kindergartens. They have 8 classes in there. From 3 to 6, and they do wonderful work with parents. They invite them to school and they show them graphically the different emotions and things the children are doing. They're clipping small videos and sending to the parents. So any way possible, it's important to bring this knowledge to the parents. That it can also be workshops in some classes. Parents were invited. It was called Evening in Your Pajamas. Parents are invited to the kindergarten near the house where they live, because that's where the children go, and they can come as they are at the evening, and they get some information about development and about social emotional skills. So that way they can understand it better, and they can see the importance to emphasize these skills also with the children when they're talking to them, and conflicts arise in the household with the sisters and the brothers of the children. And when the parents have this knowledge, and also the teachers promoting the skills at school, and they send letters to the parents and explanations to the parents, that way a child can get it throughout his day in every environment. So it's very important. And also parents are feeling more capable.
And another thing that Ina wrote is a book for children with stories that the kindergarten teacher, she tells the stories to the students during the day, but you can also use this book as a parent to read these stories with your child.
I'll show you for a second.
Yes, go bring it. And we also added a few questions in order to help the mother or the father how to discuss the story with her daughter or son. So, and sometimes you see that the child is bringing the knowledge and the language and the tools to the family. Because he is learning something in the kindergarten, and he uses these tools in the family, and the mother wants to know, where did you learn it? How do you know about it? And he tells her about it, like stop before you are acting or something like that. And he uses a symbol that stop and then think and then act. So this is another way. By the children, the parents are learning. But show the lovely book.
A book?
Yes, but this is for the first graders. So maybe you want to show.
Okay, so just a second.
I have them, but I don't my books, your books in my school, because we are use your program in Turkish children and our kindergarten, and you pointed the culture, because we translate our culture and our children or parents' properties. I hope your program is very good in our school too. You say your research is very good results. I hope
Yeah, so this is the
the
book.
result is can see in our school too.
Yeah, it's not only the translation that we did, we also did the cultural adaptations, because we have in our team Arab psychologists who are looking and doing the cultural adaptations that are needed. You know what was mentioned, maybe we can have it in Turkish, the books as well.
Yes,
So
yes,
make
okay.
Yeah, of course, we can send you the PDF of the book and you can
Yes.
translate it.
Okay, we translate. We will translate.
We also have a kit, a full kit
Yes.
for the kindergarten.
Yes.
I don't know, do you ever see the kit? The kit with all the cards and
Yes, we have card. We have card.
Okay. Yes, you have the filling cards. Yeah.
Your you have short stories in the program, but not books. Not
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also just had it this year. It's the first year that we have a whole book, and also for the parents.
Okay.
And also we have a site now that's also very helpful for the teachers. A site where they can also see the stories as a presentation, and then they can show it to the children while reading it to them. If they choose to do so, they don't have to. They can also read from the book. And also they have short videos and presentations about implementation of the program. So that's also very helpful to them. They can even, without training, the more expert teachers can look at the site and see the videos about each skill and how it has to be implemented with the program, and then they can do it by themselves.
Zeynep will work it about them. Zeynep, I think Zeynep is study them about them. Okay. Thank you for this nice interview. This program is first experiences for me first, and I think your experiences is the first too. Maybe we plan a program another time. Maybe it can be. Thanks.
Thank you. And
Thank
good
you so
luck with
much
this
for the
book.
questions.